At the time, my name was Mary May Oliver, and I married Garland Kerlec.
And what year did you graduate, May?
June 1942.
My name's Stefan Suazo, and I'm set to graduate in 2017. What grade were you in when Pearl Harbor was attacked and the United States really got involved?
I was in a sophomore in high school.
How many friends did you have like that enlisted into the war as a result? Were there any close?
It's hard to say because we were a co-ed school, the first co-ed school on the east bank of the Mississippi in New Orleans. And so we had many of our classmates went in, particularly the boys. And after the war, they came back and got their GED. And they didn't call it that then. They just came back to graduate.
Yeah.
They should have been in the class of 42. Because the school we went to was a brand new school. And it was called Francis T. Nichols, after General Francis T. Nichols, a Confederate general.
So, like, of course the legal age to go to war was 18. Did you see many people who were in your grade, sophomore, 16-year-olds going to war?
My husband, well, in 40, it was 42, the January of 43, they had two graduations at that time, in January and in June. And my husband graduated, we were classmates, in January of 43, and in April, he was in the military. Wow. He went in the Air Corps. He was stationed in England, flew a B-17, and he was area gunner engineer on a B-17. Did 35 missions over Germany. Wow. Came back in April of 45. That's right before the war ended in Europe.
Huh. That's pretty awesome.
So many of us who went to Nichols married our classmates because it was a co-ed school.
So, aside from the journalism club, what other clubs were you in? Because I'm in the journalism club myself, and I find it pretty interesting.
What other clubs? I was in the camera club, the journalism club, the home ec club, because it also taught sewing and cooking, and we had various activities that we did. Activities that went on, we did the cooking.
So did you guys have like any drives as far as war bonds go, where the whole school got together?
In fact, on Canal Street and Barone, I think the Walgreens store is still there. There was a Walgreens store and had a little kiosk outside on the sidewalk. And I sold war stamps, 25 cents a stamp. And you had your little book. And when you accumulated enough, you got a war bond was $17.85, I think.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So, how would you say, as far as the war goes, how did it affect you personally? Did you find yourself thinking about your friends that were
Oh, definitely. I wrote a lot of letters.
Lots of messages between you two.
Friends and relatives.
Oh, so you also had relatives overseas?
I had some cousins.
Some cousins? Did you know anyone who necessarily passed away while overseas?
Yes, one of our very close friends was a merchant marine, and he was the first gold star on the Nichols flag.
Wow.
He was the first one killed in the war, and my son's named after him.
Oh, wow. So he was very close.
Very important. My husband belonged to a neighborhood group called the Breadcrumbs. And the reason they were called Breadcrumbs is because they had a bread box in the front of a grocery. Most groceries had them. And early in the morning, the bakers would come with the hot bread. And when the grocery opened, everyone had hot bread for breakfast. So the kids in the neighborhood just accumulated around there. This was when they came home on leave. That's the first place they went. And my husband was one of them. And some of them are still living. And they call themselves the Breadcrumbs yet. So that was a neighborhood group.
Yeah.
The day the war ended in Japan, I was out of school by then. And working, and we got the news, well, every business stopped. And around the corner from my house was a fire station and a police station. And when I got off the streetcar coming home from work, the fire engine was pulling out the door. And then they said, hop on, we're going to take a ride.
Just to celebrate.
So we rode around the neighborhood, clanging the fire engine bell. And that evening, my two sisters and I came up to Canal Street. Canal and Kerlec was a USO on the second floor. And we danced all night.
So, how were you affected, again, by the war, as far as your home goes? Like, was there any specific rules that you had in the house that had differed now?
Right. I was a family of 6. My mother was a widow, and since 1937, but she never went to work. She stayed home, and everybody helped out. She cooked, she sewed, she did everything that had to be done. We did a victory garden. In fact, we have a little tape of the victory garden. I interviewed that. And everybody did. You planted certain things, you know, whatever you could take care of. And that was pretty much it. I mean, there were local groceries almost every corner.
Yeah.
They had mom and pop groceries.
Yeah.
And so they would save ham bones for your dinner, you know. And like, we'd go around the neighborhood and say, okay, this is Miss Oliver's time to get a ham bone. You know,
Wow.
So that's the way we did it in the war.
Was there any immediate effect afterward? Just like a feeling of relief after the war ended?
Everybody was in the same fix. The ones who got married right after the war, you couldn't buy a refrigerator, you couldn't buy a stove. Anything that was metal you couldn't buy. And so we made do. We had little ice boxes, and the iceman would come once a day and in the morning and deliver us whatever ice you wanted. And we used little 2-burner stoves until we had our order in for a stove until the stoves came in. And everyone lived in small apartments, all with parents yet.
Yeah.
Like kind of like today.
Yeah, and everyone kind of knew each other.
Yeah, right, exactly. And in fact, we were still friends with many of our classmates, the ones who are still living. And until Katrina, we had a luncheon every year. Before that, it was a dance and a dinner. But then as people got old and they couldn't drive and they couldn't get out at night, they started having luncheons. And some of them were pretty big.
Wow.
And then Katrina came along, and a lot of people moved away, most on the North Shore. So we don't get together anymore, but we do talk on the phone.